Chapter 5. Light Search and Rescue. Lifts and Carries. Approach a casualty in line of sight. Give your name and identify the organization you are attached to. Carry out a quick assessment. Inform the casualty of any movement to be carried out. Reassure the casualty throughout the process. This is to be repeated for every lift. Shoulder drag. Ensure the casualty's body is aligned with all extremities alongside the body. Standing at the shoulders, stoop. With palm facing upward, position each hand in line with the casualty's shoulders. Take hold of the clothing with a firm grip. Stepping backward, proceed cautiously to avoid any hazards. Try to maintain the drag in a straight line. Arm drag. Ensure casualty's arms are outstretched overhead. Take hold of the casualty's wrists and cautiously step backwards, observing for any potential or real hazards. Maintain the drag in a straight line as much as possible. Underarm drag. Ensure both legs of the casualty are outstretched and placed alongside each other. Cross the casualty's legs, placing one leg above the other. Cross the casualty's arms around his torso by flexing the casualty's elbow. Help the casualty to a seated position. Adopt a lunge position at the head of the casualty. Lift the casualty from the shoulder. Using the shin and knee, brace the casualty's body. Place your arms around the casualty from under the casualty's arms. Interlock your arms. Adopt a squat position. Be sure to lift, pushing from the legs. Cautiously step backwards, observing for any potential or real hazards. Maintain the drag in a straight line as much as possible. Blanket drag. Place blanket on one side of the casualty. Be sure to unfold or fully spread out the blanket. Fold or gather half the blanket closest to the casualty. Ensure the casualty's arms and legs are alongside the body. Set the folded end as close to the casualty as possible. You will now conduct the log roll. Adopt a kneeling position on the opposite side of the casualty. Place one hand on the casualty's shoulder and the other on the casualty's hip. Pull casualty onto your thighs. Reach over and pull blanket under the casualty or as close to the casualty as possible. Gently lower the casualty onto the blanket. You will now position yourself at the casualty's head. Roll the blanket at the corners to gain a sizable grip. With an underhand grip, take hold of the blanket alongside the shoulders. Cautiously step backwards, observing for any potential or real hazards. Maintain the drag in a straight line as much as possible. Two-person extremity carry. First rescuer positions himself at the head and places the casualty in a seated position by placing his hands under the casualty's arms. Second rescuer will ensure the casualty's legs are straddled or open. Second rescuer will approach with his back toward the casualty and adopt a squat position, placing his hands around the casualty's legs and holding firmly at the knees. First rescuer will give the command to lift. Ready to lift? 1, 2, 3, lift! Be sure to lift with your legs. First rescuer will also give the command to step out. Prepare to step out. Step out! Chair carry. Ensure the casualty is seated in a suitable chair. First rescuer positions himself behind the chair and takes hold of the back of the chair. First rescuer braces the foot of the chair with one leg and leans the chair onto his thigh. Second rescuer will ensure the casualty's legs are closed and approach with his back toward the casualty and adopt a squat position, holding firmly to the legs of the chair. First rescuer will give the command to lift. Ready to lift. 1, 2, 3. Lift. Be sure to lift with your legs. The command step out will be given by the first rescuer. Prepare to step out. Step out. Observing for any potential or real hazards along the way. Lifting a sensible person. First rescuer will attend to the casualty from behind by supporting under the casualty's arms. Second rescuer will stand side on with a shoulder at the midline of the casualty's body and place the closer hand and foot between the casualty's legs whilst adopting a squat position. Maintain a straight back and send the knee as far between the casualty's legs as possible. Ensure the shoulder remains center of the casualty's body. First rescuer will assist to lower the casualty onto the second rescuer's shoulder. When the shoulder is in line with the casualty's waist, with the furthest hand away, take hold of the casualty's hand and place it around the neck. Proceed to stand up, ensuring to lift with the legs. When carrying a casualty to a place of relative safety or triage, it is important to observe for any potential or real hazards. Lowering a sensible person onto a chair. First rescuer will adopt a position behind the chair. Second rescuer will adopt a side-on position to the chair and squat. First rescuer will assist by taking hold of the casualty under the casualty's arms. Second rescuer will reverse the action taken to lift. Second rescuer will grasp the casualty's hand and separate the hand and feet by pulling the hand away from the casualty. This would assist to control the lowering of the casualty into a seated position. First rescuer will ensure the casualty is lowered in a careful manner. Lowering a sensible person. Proceed to lower a casualty by reversing the steps used to lift. First rescuer will adopt a position behind the casualty, with arms outstretched to receive the casualty and one foot slightly forward. Second rescuer will adopt a side-on position to the first rescuer and squat, ensuring the leg under the casualty is braced to support the transition of the weight. First rescuer will assist by taking hold of the casualty under the arm and bracing the casualty with one leg extended between the casualty's legs. Second rescuer will grasp the casualty's hand and separate the hand and feet by pulling away from the casualty and turning inwardly toward the casualty. Second rescuer is now in a lunge position. Second rescuer will transfer the casualty's weight onto the first rescuer by leaning forward with the arms fully outstretched, counterbalancing and lowering the lunge position to the floor. Once the casualty's legs are on the floor, continue to lower the upper body by leaning forward. First rescuer will gently glide the casualty's head to the floor. Casualty may be placed in a recovery position if rescue operations are ongoing with limited manpower for rescue or trained medical personnel. One man insensible person lift. Ensure the casualty's arms and legs are alongside the casualty's body, with the legs slightly open to allow the rescuer to adopt a lunge position, with the front knee or the knee closest to the casualty's body in an upright position. Take hold of the casualty's wrists and pull toward the upright leg. Immediately support and assess the back by placing arms around the casualty and by supporting the casualty's body with the upright knee. Take hold of the waist and prepare to lift. Secure casualty on the wall by bracing the leg between the casualty against the wall and supporting the upper body with the shoulder and arm. Take control of the casualty's closer hand and outstretched in front, placing around the neck. Adopt a squat position, maintaining a straight back and send the knee as far between the casualty's body as possible, maintaining contact with the wall. Ensure the shoulder is center of the casualty's body. Lower the shoulder in line with the casualty's waist. This would allow the casualty's body to rest securely on the rescuer's shoulders. Proceed to lower casualty by reversing the steps used to lift. Slowly squat. When the casualty's feet are touching the ground and supporting the casualty's weight, with the rescuer having one leg between the casualty's legs, the rescuer will grasp the casualty's hand in front of him and separate the hand and feet. Hold the hand away from the casualty. Turn inwardly towards the casualty and stand in a lunge position. Take hold of the other hand and the wrist. Maintain control by gently lowering the casualty. The rescuer will lower the casualty along his legs by leaning forward with his arms fully outstretched, counterbalancing, and lowering the lunge position to the floor. The rescuer will gently lower the casualty's head to the floor by controlling the arms. Casualty may be placed in recovery position if rescue operations are ongoing with limited manpower for rescue or trained medical personnel.
And now another fire check, brought to you by the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service. Never use lighters or matches as a source of amusement for children. Store them out of children's reach and sight, preferably in a high place. A locked cabinet or container is preferable. Ultimately, teach young children that fire is dangerous and can hurt them as soon as it touches them. Subsequently, teach them to tell a grown-up if they see matches or lighters anywhere. Fire Check, brought to you by the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service.